Alright, buddy, I'm Josh Chewy, and welcome to the nothing game, do nothing to win. Something along those lines. This is a game where we basically try to do nothing. I don't know if that counts as something. Alright, so we're going to start to try to do nothing. Alright, so I lost that one because I pressed the key. But it was just an excuse to play this game. This is a bit of an update for the channel, sort of. I've been gone, I'd say, around about a month, I think, from uploading videos. So it's used to play this game, and tell you kind of what's been going on. Press any key to start doing nothing, or to start my spiel. So I have been away from keyboard for a little bit, we should say. Haven't uploaded in about a month. Haven't played games for even longer than that, like a few months. Spiderweb's hanging. It's not good. So what's been going on, and I kind of forget things, stuff like that, but obviously not my full-time job doing this stuff. Do a job, work on cars, and that go around the racetracks, and we do events there. But summer sort of is our busiest period. Even though we're kind of off from the end of December, or from mid-December to, I want to say mid-Feb, but start of Feb sometimes. Sorry, and by that I mean no events, because obviously we've got to service cars in the meantime for the events that are start of February. It leaves a little time to do games and edit stuff, and I will admit my editing doesn't take long if you've ever seen it. It's not magic, it's not superior quality. Wish I had time to do that, but I just don't. It leaves us with little time to do stuff. So we have a run at the end of the year. And by end of year, I mean November, which means we're away from home for about a month. So there's a month. I'm not even. Oh no, I did something I lost. I knocked a mouse. So we are away for a month. Oh, we were last year anyway. We were away for 26 days on the road, doing events, servicing cars on the road, stuff like that. Come back, and then we're straight into a couple more events usually till the week before Christmas. And then we work until Christmas, and then maybe take 2 weeks off. I think this year we had 3 weeks because we were just so knackered and tired after being on the road for a month that we needed a refresh. And even in that 3 weeks being home, there was still Christmas to do. There was stuff to go out and do stuff with family. So still not a lot. And then the last thing you want to do, sort of think, when you're home for that long, or when you've been on the road for that long and then come home, is then just to sit and do games. Although it would be fun to play some games every now and then. I think I did play a couple of the games over that period, which would have been Formula 1 or F1 23. And just to settle yourself back down, have a good resting period, and recharge your batteries heading into the new year. So we're back in the start of Jan, just about, or a week off in Jan, to service all those cars up, which we run 30 cars, pretty much at not every event, but we've got about 30 cars to play with, and then we got to service them up and then run 21 or 28, usually 21, 22 cars we have at each event. And been doing that. So again, flat out, got a lot of events, summertime. Also got 2 weddings to go to. None of them mine, but 2 weddings. Which one was my best mate, like one of my best mates, and the other one my brother. So you knock off a weekend, 2 weekends there. You knock out like I think for the Bucks parties and stuff like that. So when this video I think goes there, I've got everything planned out right. I'll have my brother's wedding that following weekend. So if you're watching this weekend, even though for me it's next weekend, but this weekend, well, for me right now it's next weekend, but this weekend for you guys, it should be my brother's wedding. So looking forward to that. He's my younger brother. I'm the oldest of 4. But yeah, in the end, it doesn't leave much time to do videos and stuff like that. So I've been sort of taking a break, sort of thing. I've been meaning to get back into it. There's a lot of times where I've sat on my computer meaning to do gaming, and then I've ended up just watching videos on YouTube and haven't had that many games to play, in a sense. Like, there's plenty of games out there. I've got a whole list of games of like 80-something games I want to try. And they're not long games, they're short games, so nice. Sorry, someone's picking up my order because I'm hungry. I ordered dinner. So there's plenty of games out there. It's just having that not mentality. Well, that mentality to do work, but also which work hard in the other job. Work so hard in the other job. But also just that motivation to do it, and that's hard sometimes when you're busy all day, coming home, and then needing to do stuff. And well, I got to work for another couple of hours when you get home, 2 or 3 hours after doing 9, 10 hours at work. Coming home, doing an extra 3 just to pump out videos and stuff like that. It's hard, quite difficult and stuff like that. So that's why I've been away. The other side of things is been looking into gear. Been looking into gear in a sense. Like one of my other passions I have is music. Been playing guitar. Sometimes you'll see there's a guitar in my back corner. Now I've got this video going. You might see another guitar that's right behind me, but there's 2 guitars there. But usually you'll see a guitar in that back corner. At the moment there's 2 guitars, another one behind me there. I've been playing for almost 20 years. In a few years' time it'll be 20 years. I've been playing for about 18 years. And collected. So if anyone out there who's a musician and likes to hear about musical stuff, apart from just gaming and PCs and stuff like that, because it's interesting. Like, I did an audio engineering course back at uni, so almost completed it, but it just wasn't for me in the end. Lost the passion, lost the drive for it, and I just couldn't. Every time I went there, it was just nightmares. Started to get out of that, but been playing guitar for about that long. Got a few guitars in my collection. Not a lot of different ones. A lot of them are sort of similar, which they sort of move around in a sense. I haven't sold any guitars, but some of them are here. Some of them I have elsewhere, or a couple I have elsewhere at the moment. But they move around. They come and go, sort of thing. So they're on different locations, sort of thing. But I've been looking to doing something I've wanted to for the last 10, 15 years. I sort of started to do it, and that is try to build like a rig in a sense, which is just a rack unit type thing, and you have different things in there. So one of the things I've purchased lately is a Voodoo Labs ground control and a GCX, which is just a guitar pedal true bypass system. But it has MIDI function, which is control an amplifier if it has that MIDI programmable MIDI in it. And yeah, so it helps you change different foot guitar pedals at the same time, in a sense, with presets and stuff like that, which is sort of new for me. Like, I don't usually, I would say I don't use guitar pedals, but I've used one for almost 15 years now. And it's just a simple stomp box. It's not the one I've got here with me at the moment because my amps, this is not I don't have my rig here with me, my rig. Even though I'm building a rig, guitarists always have a rig. If it's just a guitar straight to an amp, that's their rig. But I'm building like a rack unit rig for everything. But I don't know. The thing with foot switches or foot pedals has never really been a thing for me. Like oh yeah, that's kind of cool. I've always believed that, the best kind of sound distortion wise, or just the most natural sounding, I think, was just guitar straight into amp. And that's pretty much what I've run for the 20 or so years I've been playing guitar. There's different ways to catch tone. Some are right, some are wrong. Maybe there's not wrong ways, because technically that still works, but there's different ways of going about it. But my rig has always pretty much been guitar straight into an amp. Saying that, you get an amp with foot switch controls, and you could change channels, like multi-channel amps. That's where I would say, for the most part, that's where it's at. You get a amp that could change your clean to distorted channel. That's basically all you need. In a sense, like, that's really all you need. You need a clean tone, you need a distorted tone, and they need to sound kind of good. A lot of people buy a whole lot of different gear and stuff like that, different pedals, make all these different sounds, which is cool. And that's kind of where I'm going now, after 20 years of playing guitar. Or 18 years of playing guitar, which is why we're getting the GCX and the ground control, because I could use that to control my amp, which my foot switch does anyway. So I've got a... Alright, so I've got a 410H, which is a Marshall. It's a JVM. It's fucking awesome. Highly recommend those amps. 4 channels, each with 3 different gain stages in them. So technically you got up to 12 different channels in an amp. You could preset 6 of them onto a foot switch, which comes with the amp, which is fantastic. Each channel's got their own master volume. You have 2 master volumes of the actual amp in the end. So you've got a volume for each channel plus 2 master volumes you can use for the amp, and you can assign any of those channels to either master volume 1 and 2, and then you can have reverb on, inbuilt reverb. It's fantastic. And then the only effect I've ever used on that amp or guitar pedal I've used is, and this is, I've got 2 guitar pedals that I use at all times, sort of thing. So one is a Boss NS2 noise suppressor. It's just a gate, because I'm sick of hum. Most guitars I use P90s. So the hum in it just gets rid of all that noisy hum and kind of helps with signal. So that's always on. So that goes from guitar straight into the noise suppressor, and then it goes into the amp. And then I have, which is always on, I've run 2 clean channels on the foot switch. One of the clean channels has an EVH phase 90 in it. Is phase 90? Yeah, phase 90 in it. On the clean. And it just runs through the effects loop. I don't turn the effects loop on and off. I don't turn the phase 90 on and off, because it literally sits at the back of the amp. It just sits on the speaker cabinet on a shelf, and then it just sits there. So we're looking again in the rig. Bought GCX, bought a ground control. Haven't hooked any of them up yet because I'm waiting to do stuff. The only other thing I have bought recently is a MXR Dookie drive, because if I could get this to work properly, which a lot of people have done well on, and I don't know if you can see it, but that's kind of a standard setting for it. I haven't tried this. I've tried this through 2 tiny Marshalls that I've got, which you can't get the full effect of this from, but it's just an amps I've got here with me at the moment, and for playing guitar mostly. They don't do a bad job. You're not trying to record anything, you're just having a fiddle, having a play around. But I'm interested to see how that goes through the JVM, to see what tones I could get out of it. So you have heavily distorted amp on that direction, and for what I can understand, a clean amp on that one, because you'd run it through the clean channel surely on your amp. Well, sorry, the way I think it's set up, you'd run it through the clean channel on your amp. And so if you chuck it all the way to the right, you should have what we call, well, a heavily gained plexi that's got an extra gain stage in it. So this is what we call meat, right? So it sounds more like Green Day's Insomniac, and you chuck it to your left, it should sound a little more like Pete, which is another I can't remember what the actual mod is, but it's another Marshall mod that sounds like Dookie. And then you blend the things in between. And what this is based off is Billy Joe Armstrong's live rig that he uses, and he runs two Marshall plexis. One was his old Pete amp that's called Pete, hence sounds like Pete, and the other silver one, which is an SE Lee mod, which is called Meat. So you have Pete and Meat. So they should be still both distorted, but obviously right hand turned to right, more heavily distorted. And his live rig is, or his live sound is a blend of the both. Hence the blend. That gain output there is for Meat. It has two internal controls in it that you can change. So if I can get this to work, right, and get it to sound as I think it should sound like he's Billy Joe's live tone, which is two modern Marshalls. So it's a very cheap Marshall, which if you don't want to get the Dookie drive, MXR also sells the MXR FOD, which is the exact same pedal. You actually can flick with different, it doesn't just have a scoop button, it has flicks between different frequencies. Or you could cut the mids or raise the mids or something like that. And it doesn't have the Green Day artwork on it. So this is version 3 of the pedal. They've got up to version 4 now. I'd love to get a version 1 with the original Dookie artwork on it. But for this cost me this, I got this cheap, $200. But for $200, technically, if it works the way I think it should be the ability to have two different modified Marshall plexis in my rig unit, or in my audio rig. So when a Marshall plexi costs you about first, and look, I'm based in Australia, so $3,500 to $4,000 for a Marshall plexi, like a 1959 hardwired head. So that's what, $3,500, $4,000. You spend $8,000 on two Marshall plexis that you have to then, well, for us would have to be shipped overseas to get modded to the States, to you guys in the States or whoever's watching, to get modded and then freighted back. So they're heavy things. So the shipping, like the ship a guitar's a couple $100. Ship an amp would probably be like $1,000. Again, all Australian dollars, but and for $200, I could technically own two. It definitely sounds like one Marshall model plexi. You turn the blend up, turn the gain up, you get one Marshall model plexi. But trying to get it to sound like two might be interesting. Does it sound like a Marshall model plexi? Videos I've seen of it sounds like Dookie. And so that's a Marshall model plexi, so it sounds like a Marshall model plexi. But I will be running this for a Marshall anyway, so that's should be a good start. Like a plexi, Marshall model plexi emulator. Run it through a Marshall amp. Should get to work. Should be, so $200, two Marshall model plexis, or one blended tone, or you got, if you use the way how I think it's meant to be working, you got two like gained amps, you blend them, you technically playing two modern Marshall plexis through a Marshall amp to get the point. It sounds like two when you just are technically playing one. So I'd like to have got that, add that to my arsenal. There's stuff I'm looking at getting, which would be like power supplies and stuff like that. It's the kind of big dollar stuff in a sense. Like they're not cheap. Wireless unit. Love to go wireless. Love to run a wireless. because the guitar cables that always fail, the ones that you plug in the guitar and they have the weird like kinks in them and stuff like that, they get all tangled. If you just have them pushed in, they don't move, then they just sit that way, and it's nice. So yeah, all that's been going on. So I've been talking for 17 minutes and 10 seconds. Well, looks or a bit longer because this is our second one. Collectively knocked the mouse before. I just want to give you guys an update. The channel's still going. I haven't forgotten about it. I promise I haven't forgotten about it. There will be more stuff coming. The game's coming. There's more Formula 1 coming, and I know that isn't a big hit with a lot of people. It's just something I enjoyed. I know a lot of people turned off by it. There is more Formula 1 coming. I want to at least, if you guys aren't interested in it, I at least want to finish the F2 season. I did plan on doing a Formula 2 season, maybe a season in F1. Well, a season in F1, and seeing how it would go with that. Because I think a lot of people that turns a lot of people off is my domination in F2, we call it like that. But it's just so when you go to F2 to F1, you don't change the difficulty settings. They stay the same, and by that determining the F1 driver should be a lot quicker, so it should be harder. Do a season in F1, see how that goes. Maybe do a second season in F1. So that's 3 seasons of content so far, and then start your own team. If you win the championship for that, which I'm hoping I would have, going from F2 to AlphaTauri or Red Bull. AlphaTauri you might do well, or just Red Bull Toro also. AlphaTauri, AlphaTauri Toro also, which you hopefully do well in. If you don't win a championship, bit harder to win a championship in AlphaTauri, but that's alright because Red Bull's obviously. But then move up to Red Bull. Do the season there, hopefully win the championship, hopefully win the Constructors' Championship, so you get and then start your own team and do it. But if that's not doing well, I won't worry about it. But I will finish the F2 season. There's still, I do have some lined up, and I've still got a couple more to edit, and I've still got more seasons to play of that. But that is that. Do have more of the usual standard games that we play coming up. This is kind of one of the oddballs for it, but it did leave me an opportunity to just talk to you guys and let you know what's going on. So this is the Nothing game. Should we do something? Should we play the Nothing game for a bit more? We'll see. It'll be interesting to see how long I can go for doing nothing. Maybe we'll do another game of me doing nothing. But yeah, just I wanted to give you an update. Excuse to play this game. So until then, I'll see you in the next one. Like and subscribe. We keep the channel going. Don't worry. Look, I'm determined. I've been doing it for a while. But we'll grow it. We'll grow this channel. See ya.